When you look at a goal sheet, what do you hope it looks like a year from now?
I hope we're national champions.
So the Texas Longhorns were so close to their ultimate goal last season. Obviously the season ended in brutal fashion with Quinn Ewers' former roommate and Jack Sawyer strip sacking him to ruin the hopes and dreams that the team had of going all the way. But heading into 2026, the time is now. Arch Manning is set to take over. There are weapons all over the depth chart. There has never been a better time to be a Longhorns fan, and I feel like there has not been enough coverage out there about this team throughout the offseason, so I definitely wanted to make a video talking about everything you need to know about the Longhorns heading into this upcoming college football season, because there is a lot. But first, before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind, and your support truly means the world. Alright, so let's start this video off talking about Arch Manning. I think a lot of the pressure for him is tied to his last name, and that is for obvious reasons. I know he's ultra talented, but his last name is Manning, so it's a big factor for sure. And that last name is football royalty, but a lot of the hype also comes from the fact that this is a guy that has been on this roster for years. He's had plenty of time to be ready. He's even played and shown flashes of potential. Many people wanted him on the field for the playoffs last year and were annoyed that he was sitting, but now is his time to shine. He knows the system. This is the perfect situation for him to thrive in. It really is, and he has all the traits to be a good quarterback because we know he's patient and can wait for things, and he may have the biggest toolbox to his disposal in all of college football. But the pressure is a real thing. I know he has been in front of the spotlights before, but how will he handle being the center of attention for a whole season? And I don't just mean in Texas, I mean across all of college football. And when you add on to the fact just how desperate Texas fans are for a championship, that makes the weight on his shoulders even heavier. But I'm not really personally that worried about the subject of Arch Manning. I think he is going to come in and be a top 3 to top 2 and maybe even the best quarterback in college football. I'm more super excited to see what he can do with the guys around him than worried he will fail or anything like that. I mean, Texas went to the semifinals 2 years in a row, and you can give Quinn Ewers credit for that, but if they could go on runs like that with Ewers, imagine what is possible with Arch under center. Let's start with talking about what the wide receiving room looks like. Right now, we can only go off the projections when looking at the depth chart. I know things change throughout the season, but let's talk about Ryan Wingo. He's of course a guy that comes from a running back family, but he is a wide receiver at heart, and he showed that last season, showing flashes of what he could do at times. He finished the year with 472 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wingo came in as a 5-star recruit, one of the crown jewels of the 2024 class for Texas. He got his feet wet in 2025, obviously, as I just mentioned, but the 2026 season is the year Texas expects him to start producing like a frontline SEC receiver. He's had 2 off seasons in Torrey Becton's strength program, time to adjust to the speed of the game, and he has a full understanding of Sarkisian's route tree. Texas doesn't baby blue chip receivers into year 3. This is the year you earn a full-time role or someone else takes it. That's especially true now that Sark has a deeper wide receiver room and gadget guys pushing the envelope, and I expect Ryan to be used a lot as a vertical threat as well. The next receiver I want to talk about is Emmett Mosley, who the Longhorns landed in the transfer portal. Mosley was the number 8 ranked player in ESPN's spring transfer rankings, and he has 3 years of eligibility remaining. He led all AAC freshmen with 48 catches last season and produced 525 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns in his debut season with the Cardinal. Mosley entered the transfer portal earlier this month after Stanford fired Troy Taylor. Mosley is a former 3-star recruit from Santa Margarita, California, earning a starting role with the Cardinal, and he became the team's second leading receiver as a true freshman. He enjoyed a strong finish to his debut season with 2 100-yard performances in November, and he broke multiple program single-game freshman records in an upset win over Louisville with 13 catches and 168 yards and 3 touchdowns. Basically, Mosley has proven he is a capable pass catcher, and he's going to be one of the main guys the Longhorns brought in to try to replace the production of Matthew Golden, Helm, and also Bond. But he's not it, because right now lined up at the wide receiver role is DeAndre Moore, except he sustained an injury that kinda has him out for the spring. He could come back, but that does kind of leave Wingo as the only player on the roster with prior production as a Longhorn, so there's not a lot of continuity, which is scary, but I don't really think it matters that much with a brand new QB under center. But that may mean a guy like Khalil Lockett, the 5-star freshman, may have to step in and play some snaps. This is a guy who can play both from the slot or on the outside. He definitely has a sizable catch radius and excellent body control. I think out of all receivers, he's the one that Texas is most excited about, but since he's a freshman, they don't want to rush him out there and make him do things he's not ready to do, because let's face it, not everyone can just go out there and be Jeremiah Smith. Alright, now let's move on to the backfield and what it's looking like right now. Obviously, Jaden Blue was drafted to the Dallas Cowboys, leaving Trey Wisner and CJ Baxter as the 1 and 2 backs. Last season, Wisner rushed for over 1,000 yards and had 5 touchdowns, so not bad at all, especially for splitting carries. And obviously, him stepping up his role is going to increase production. He also was a really good receiving back, having over 300 yards. He had a huge game against Clemson in the Longhorns' first playoff game with 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think it's pretty safe to be confident in him as your number 1 guy. And then behind him, Baxter was a very highly touted recruit. He has played in 12 games with 6 starts, but he suffered a season-ending injury during the fall camp of 2024, so his health is a massive priority. Obviously, we have seen many guys not be the same player after big injuries, but we have also seen guys come back and be even better. So keep an eye on Baxter as we move through the next few months. Now to switch gears and talk about the defense, the Longhorns recently just landed the number 1 linebacker in the nation for the class of 2026 in Tyler Atkinson, which is absolutely huge. But even beyond that, this is a defense that already has a ton of star power on it. Texas has a bona fide national star at all 3 levels of the defense, plus a number of names fans from around the country are likely to learn soon enough. Plus, some of the imported players like Murad Watson bring their own accolades ahead of the 2025 season. And don't forget about Colin Simmons, the freshman All-American, and the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year, maybe the most feared pass rusher in the 2025 season. As a former 5-star prospect, Simmons gives Texas a terrorizing presence on the edge who can make plays both in passing and rundowns. I personally, just as a football fan, am super excited for who is on the Longhorns slate in week 1. It's a rematch from the semifinals, and it might very well be a game between the 2 best teams in college football. And the quarterback battle is going to be the highlighted part of this matchup. I'm pretty confident that Julian Sayin is going to be the starting quarterback for the Buckeyes come week 1. Obviously, Arch Manning will be for the Longhorns. It will be the final game day for Lee Corso, which is definitely sad, but should be a bittersweet kind of feeling watching him put on the headgear for the last time. And it just should be a fun game for the sport overall. And I'm so glad matchups like this can happen now early in the season, because now with the 12-team playoff format, you can lose these games and have those early tests and not ruin your season if you lose. College football is in the perfect spot right now, and for the Longhorns, this really will be the perfect test in a hostile environment to see where they are at. And if they win, that's great. But if they lose, they can use it as a learning experience and take it with them for the rest of the season. I think it's very fair to have super high expectations for 2026, even higher than the past 2 seasons, and it's going to be interesting to see what this team led by Arch Manning and Steve Sarkisian can do. But that's really all I have to say for this one. Let me know what you guys think and how you're feeling about this team heading into the upcoming season in the comments below. And if you made it to this point in the video and enjoyed, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, and let me know what you would like to see next. And until then, I will see you all later.